Hi guys, welcome to HEMAchat. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a short one. When I scheduled this one, it slipped my mind that the Sacramento Turnverein, where we do our regular training, wouldn't be available today. The Chris Kindle Mart, it's an ongoing Christmas market that they do the first of December every year, is this weekend. The space has already been booked previously, and you want to kind of go back and remember why it is that you're doing a particular thing. You can just read that quick summary, and it'll get you going. So the first part of the book, fabulous, love it. The second part of the book, he then goes into kind of the practical side of things, right? Actually the drills, but not just drills, also things like, what sword should I be practicing with? What practice sword should I use? And we're going to get to that. I actually have one of Mike's recommended practice swords with us today, and so we'll talk about that sword as well. We've used them on the video in the past. We've had a couple of them since back in late August, early September when they first came on the market. I got some of the first batch, and I have a new one that we'll do a little unboxing with here today as well. But that is the VB Technique Fetter, right? And we'll talk about it from Purpleheart Armory. But that second part of the book is absolutely amazing. Within it, Mike's going to give us lots of full color pictures that show very clearly what to look for. Also helps us diagnose issues that people might be coming across. Let me see, I know, looking up a book on a video, not the best in the world, but he outlines common mistakes that people can do all the time, especially beginners. The chicken wing that people regularly, when they hold on to the pump, kind of disciplines within HEMA. I find that the way that he describes footwork is odds with what we know from Meyer, and particularly the fourth generation and some of the different body positions that we're expecting ourselves to get into as a Meyer practitioner. But it's a minor issue. Also, this book isn't specifically written for Meyer, so, such is life. The last part of the book is also pretty awesome. This is the calibration section. This is the part where he actually starts really going into the discussion of sharp cutting. An important distinction that's brought up repeatedly in the book, you'll see that people mention this online. When you're practicing cutting, you're not practicing cutting on tatami, okay? Or clay, or rolled newspapers, or any other substance, right? When we cut against something, maybe it's a pig that's dead, and feedback in your has an extra $1,000, $2,000 laying around for their first sharp, especially when they're probably going to hit the ground the first couple of times they use one. Talks about arms and armor, even gives out, although he personally doesn't recommend them, for the cold steel hand and a halves. Now, we have 3 of them in the club as, kind of introductory club cutters. I like them. They're good swords, but, they also only cost $200. If one breaks, you get what you paid for. It was a $200 sword. So he goes through, gives you your pros and cons. I guess at the end of the day, what I'm saying is you should buy it, right? Go get the paperback, get the hardback, get a copy of the Kindle edition that's available. It really is a valuable book. Even if it's not exactly what you're doing, you'll still have a lot of value. There's some really, really good material in there, and you should pick it up. Now, the other thing that we're going to talk about today is we got in another batch of the VB. I've found with the Purpleheart VB fetters, whether it's the competition fetter or these technique fetters, the metal on that, I'm not a metallurgist, I don't know this stuff really, really well. It seems a little soft. It also, when you first start using it, has a real tendency to take some dings in it that can break off in some small sharp slivers and splinters of metal, so don't go running your thumb up and down the edge. Can also, if you use it against an Albion or something that's a really hard blade, it's going to lose. I really would recommend only using these against other similar swords. When used against other VB fetters, you're going to be fine. Used against other VB technique fetters, again, you're going to be fine. Use it against a hard sword, it's going to chew your sword up. The other thing is, they don't have a lot of blade presence in the bind. They're a bit flexible, and so against a really, really stiff, tournament fetter, especially I've played around with them against like the Black Horse fetter, which is basically an I-beam, right? And it holds center. You're going to lose with these. You just aren't going to win that competition. They're going to get beat out of the way. You're not going to succeed. So They're great swords. I really like them, especially at a sub $200 price point. Oh my God, I think the current price is $189. Is it any shock that there are always sold out or nearly so? If you're looking for an entry-level sword, you want something to practice with, I would start with this guy. Sub $200. It's going to do the job. It handles like a sharp. Doesn't have the best sword wind in the world, so the feedback from it is so-so, especially on the rolled tip, but you can still get a good cut with it to be able to hear it. You can get the palm either as a disc or the more pear-shaped style pommels. Personally, I like the pear over the disc. Pick one up, guys. 200 bucks. So I did say today's video was going to be a short one. Next week, we're back in our training hall, so we will be back with one of our regular videos. And yes, I will have Sage for those of you that want a little more Sagey in your life. So bear with us on that. Also,